I'm here with Vera Baby at New York Comic-Con 2015. It's great to see you again. How are you doing?
It's so good to see you. I'm doing amazing.
All right. So let's get started with some of your background. You were a suicide girl at one point, or are you still?
I am still. I wasn't for a short while, but I am, yeah.
Okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but suicide doesn't mean actual suicide. It refers to like a metaphorical killing of yourself that conforms to the norm.
It's actually from, I cannot pronounce his name, Chuck Palahniuk. I think that's his name. It's from one of his novels. So yeah, and it generally means like to commit social suicide. So when girls are putting tattoos on their bodies and stuff like that, that's like socially suicidal.
And they also have a magazine of their own, don't they? Or they pose in magazines.
The Suicide Girls? Yeah, well, they're regular working models, so of course they do pose in magazines, and they do have what is called the Suicide Girls magazine. Kind of reminds me more of a book, and because they don't release them like monthly or anything like that, and they do come as a book. And I think they've done two. I'm not sure. I think they've done two, yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, I remember in a recent Facebook post, you said that you consider yourself, or you self-identify as an unconventional cosplayer, I think were the words you used?
I said I am the controversial cosplayer, yeah.
And why do you feel that way?
Because my stuff tends to cause a lot of buzz. At Toronto Fan Expo, I recently did a Wednesday Addams cosplay, and it was sort of like a Wednesday Addams / Victoria's Secret type look, and there was some underboob, and people were like, oh, Wednesday is a child, this is inappropriate, there are children at this con, stuff like that. So I was like, all right, controversy, right?
Why do you suppose that is?
Well, everybody has their opinions. Everybody looks at things different ways. I can see some people's opinion and why they think that way. I just have a different way of looking at it. You know, like I grew up with the Addams Family. I grew up with all of the things that I cosplay. So if I tend to put a more adult spin on it, it's because I am an adult. And I would, if Wednesday was my age today, she'd be more Morticia. You know, and Morticia was always very sexy.
Absolutely. So is there a desire to be attractive for all girls? You know, a desire to be sexy?
Yeah, I guess so. It's very empowering. It feels very good. And one of my favorite things about it is that when I was growing up, I was teased a lot. I was bullied a lot as a kid. I was always told, oh, you're too skinny, you should eat something, eat a hamburger, like was told I was anorexic. I had somebody call the guidance counselors and be like, oh, she's been throwing up. And I was a very skinny kid. And then I guess as I got older, I grew into my curves, and then I got some curves. I purchased
It's a children's program.
Oh no, I didn't know that. We can edit that part out.
We can, but...
As I got older, I grew into my curves, and I started to feel very confident, and the sexiness it means something to me, you know? And when I have girls come to me and talk to me about body issues and stuff, and I'm doing my sexy thing, and I had somebody come to me today and she was crying and she was actually like today I was walking back to the booth and she was crying and she was telling me that she really identified with me and my story and whatnot, and that really meant a lot to me. And I think that's my favorite thing actually, is talking to the girls about how they feel about themselves and coming out of their shell.
Okay. Now, speaking of surgery, actually, there's been a drastic increase in the number of children 17 years old and younger who have actually started getting that because of bullying. What do you think about that?
I think that's, I'm sorry, some really bad parenting. I think that's an adult decision. When I got my first tattoo, for example, I was just of age, and I think that I decided on that way too soon. You know, like I like my first tattoo. It's this one, but I went and I got some other ones. And when you're younger, you just don't make very wise choices. You don't think things through as much. So I feel like it's the parent's responsibility to be like, well, I'm your parent, and you can hate me or love me, but you can't do that. You know, so you're just so young, and some of these decisions are so permanent. Just wait till you're older, you know? It doesn't take that long. Give it a couple of years.
Absolutely.